Josh, let's talk about the Malco Copenhagen Conductors Competition. What are there jerseys? Is there a uniform? How does the conductors competition
We actually have
work?
a sword fight with the batons before that's done.
What happened with that competition?
Well, it was a real, I mean, of course it was a surprise to win it, but it was a surprise to even get into it. I'd been conducting for two years, and I'd never conducted a professional orchestra or even sniffed conducting a professional orchestra. And I saw this ad for the Malco competition posted on a website, and I thought, what the hell? And I applied for it. And I remember being in the car with my parents. I was just out of college, high school, so it was on a break, getting an email saying that I'd been accepted into the competition, and I had honestly forgotten that I had applied for it because it was such an unlikely thing to get in. And so I went to Copenhagen, and it was like a violin, piano, cello competition at rounds where we had repertoire chosen for us, and we were given, a certain amount of time to rehearse with the orchestra live. And the other really disconcerting thing about it was on live Danish TV the whole time.
I watched them from New York.
And also streaming on the internet. So, I mean, it was a really fishbowl kind of experience. And so I got up, and I remember the first round was the Haydn Farewell Symphony, the first two movements. And I just went up, and I said, okay, here we go. Yum, dum, dum. And right away it felt amazing. And the orchestra and me really felt like we connected right away. And so kind of went from there.
Did you get any adjudication information? Did you find out why you win, what you were good at, what you weren't good at?
No, I mean, we knew who the judges were beforehand, but basically, we would all line up, and they would tell us who moved on to the next round. And the people who did not move to the next round were able to get comments. So I actually didn't get any comments until the end. And then I got a lot of comments, which were all extremely helpful. But so it was a very, I mean, I had my teacher at home, who's my mentor, Hugh Wolf, I was emailing him all the time saying, oh my God, what do I do in the Firebird Suite? Help me. And so that was very helpful. But that was most of the advice was from friends at home and from my teachers.
What did the panel tell you after it was done with?
One of the judges said, as I was walking out on stage and shaking their hands after it was announced that I won, he said, now it's time to study. So I figured he didn't vote for me. And then one of the other ones just said, he said I need to talk slower and louder when I'm rehearsing. And then he also just gave a few musical comments about the Haydn Symphony that I did, just about phrasing and things like that. But basically, they were pretty light with the comments, except I will always remember, now it's time to study, from this very old, distinguished conductor.
There's a Museum of Musical Instruments in Vienna. And at one place on the stop on this little tour, you can pick up a baton, which has an electrical cord hooked to it, and there's a big video screen, I don't know, a third maybe of the size of this thing. And on it, the Vienna Philharmonic appears. And you get to conduct them. And if you conduct them successfully, the performance will conclude. And if you conduct them unsuccessfully, the musicians will stop and yell at you. A couple of them get up and scream at you in German and tell you what a fool you are.
Oh, wow.
It's quite...
That's very clever.
I'm going to go to that. That's
great. That sounds interesting.
I would love to know if any professional conductor would dare to try it.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be nervous to try it. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I'm not sure what success is with that too. I don't know if it's a clear beat or a steady tempo. I mean, it's a computer
Probably
thing.
it must be steady tempo with the computer.
I would presume that. But when you started, or since Hugh Wolf is your mentor, what did you begin? You studied a score? Did he sit and watch you conduct? Was it a student orchestra? Was it just him and you in a studio somewhere?
Yeah, it was actually a combination of all of that. The first thing I did, which was really stupid in hindsight, but I got a group together to play Coriolan Overture in Beethoven's First Symphony. And I just threw a bunch of my friends together at school and, tried it out. And the next year, I graduated to Beethoven 7. And that I showed to Hugh, and that was the first thing he watched me conduct. And we sat together, and he gave me some comments about, he's like, don't forget about that, and, or I mean, very basic things, because I really honestly didn't know how to study a score. I didn't know what to look for in a score. I had very rudimentary kind of theory and harmonic and structural analysis, and that's really the amazing things that Hugh taught me. How to analyze a score on a large scale, and the way to, I don't know this yet. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever know it, but the way to find your way through a 90-minute Mahler symphony. And Hugh he's a super genius, and he knows, I mean, he has such an unbelievable memory for these things and an unbelievable way of pacing things. And that's one of the main things he started teaching me right away. He went right for the core wall at the same time teaching me the basics.